Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you your weekly Pokemon market update. Here we go. If you like the content, smash all those buttons, do all the commenting, all that stuff. You know it. I've said it enough times now. I think you know what to do. Let's get into it. This week is kind of quiet, actually. A little bit of a downtrend, not too bad. It's a good, well, I'm looking at it as a good opportunity to buy because we are seeing some cooling of prices, which I think is good. I think it's related to your incoming reprints that have been talked about a lot. They should be happening soon, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, the question is which one of these will actually be reprinted. We don't know, and our window is closing. It seems we're running out of time to get these reprints. So let's get into the data, and then we can speculate and hypothesize on what we think the right move is at this time. All right, so Evolving Skies is the first notable booster box. It is actually up 37.8% to 334.98. Holy moly, that is high. I think that's the highest on record that I have, and maybe the highest ever, all-time high for Evolving Skies. As I've said before, you sell into the hype. This would be a decent time to sell Evolving Skies if you got it way back in the beginning in that 120 200 range. You'd be locking in some really significant gains. Um, yeah, you can hope it goes higher, and it probably will at some point. The question is when and how long does it take? We did see a dip back last week to 243, so you know that this has some downward pressure recently, right? And we'll look at the chart, but what that means is that we're finding the top. We're popping up, coming back down, popping up, coming back down. With that happening, and I apologize for that. I just realized I never turned that off from when me and Tommy were casting together. Um, it's off now. The With that kind of pressure starting to kick in, this is toppy. This is looking toppy, and that means it will cool off and come back down and settle into a mean area, typically for a while until we hit that next tier of supply and demand disbalance. We've talked about this a million times. We'll look at the chart, but the reality is that it will find a top eventually. It's not going to go up, kind of logarithmically or exponentially forever. It's going to take some time and do the stepwise thing. Eventually, once this hype ends, we are in a hype bubble. Sell into the hype, buy on the dip. That is my typical philosophy, general market philosophy, and this is definitely hype. 37% gain in 1 week is pretty big. Now, be fair, it's only 10% over previous highs, so it's still a good gain. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Hold on to it for the long term if you want. Just be ready for it to cool off and be a while before you hit new highs again. And I could always be wrong. This market is very twisted and weird right now because of the lack of supply. We don't know if Evolving Sky is getting booster box reprints. We just don't know, right? So there's a lot of unknown. Taking advantage of the unknown and the hype is usually an advantageous thing. Now, if you bought it at like 200, 220, then I'd just probably hold, right? I wouldn't hold on to it, or I wouldn't try to sell into this hype unless I was looking for quick money, because you're just not getting that much of a gain, right? But if you have it down at the 120 range, you doubled your money plus, right? So you're at a good spot to sell in my mind. That's how I look at it. Up to you, obviously. Do what you will with your own stuff. And sitting on a shelf is not a bad thing to do. Silver Tempest gets an honorable mention, up 4.31% to 128. Nothing really remarkable there, other than the fact that it's the latest set and it's up to 128. Right, that's kind of crazy for how soon that happened. But nothing crazy there. That's probably still a hold for a while for most people, even if you got a nice discount. Maybe sub 100 level booster boxes when it first came out. Although I don't know, did it even happen? I think it was the lowest was 104. I don't recall. Well, there's a 102 back here, but I don't recall it being uh, in the 80s or anything. Like I don't remember seeing that at all for this because the hype of the whole market had started. Yeah, 109 was the first, and 102 is the low. Yeah, so 128 is a decent gain, but not anything to get excited about because oh no, there was a $96. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If for a quick flip, I would still hold on to it personally. Anyways, Sword and Shield base set up 10% to 293. This is after last week going up just under 5% at 266. and before that it was 255 pretty solidly for a while, and before kind of the hype bubble kicked off. So 293, nothing to sneeze at. 10%, nothing to sneeze at. I would not get too excited at this point because this is such an old set. I have a feeling this has room to run. Vivid Voltage is down 10%. You know I've been looking at that for a while at 123. Let me know in the comments if I shouldn't buy this for some reason. I think I should. It's been discounted again and again. I'm actually more looking at the cases because they have dripped down, and I suspect we'll see a little bit more downward pressure as these things go on. But it's such an old set, and it's cheap-ish, compared to these other ones. Makes me interested. Anyways, moving on to the booster box cases, I can enunciate. Down 8.78% for Astral Radiance. That's 674 or 675 from 739. Now that was a 5% increase the last week, and then it was a big jump the week before. So 675, while it's down 8%, is still way above where it was a month ago at 570 by $100. So that's it's like 20% up or something. So that's pretty good. It's continuing to climb even though it's dipping back down. Now, if this is something that you feel like you missed your chance on, it might be worth grabbing in this little dip because with the upward pressure, it probably will not be one of those things that continues to decline. Now, big question mark here. This is where we have to speculate and have fun. Astral Radiance, Sword and Shield 10. I believe it was one that was rumored to get a reprint. If it's getting a reprint, this comes down even further, right? So this is where you gamble. I'm not sure if it's worth it for most people, but if you want it, get it on your shelf. If you don't want it or you're not sure, don't. Right? You can miss something. It's fine. You don't have to be FOMO about everything. You can just miss out. It's okay to miss out. There's always another opportunity. In my day job where I invest in tech companies, I have a personal philosophy that I never regret a missed deal, whether it's good or bad, right? Like, I never regret it because there's always another opportunity. If you're deploying capital into various assets and asset classes, you always have somewhere else you can invest. So if you miss one, who cares? Let's just look for the next one, right? Learn the lesson from what you missed, right? Say, oh, this is why I missed that. I doubted it for X, Y, and Z. And then reiterate and think in your head and say, hey, would I do that knowing what I know now? Would I change that assessment with the information I had then? And the question is, usually your answer is still no because it was some unknown, some variable, some factor that made you say no initially that probably you couldn't see through, right? It was impossible at the time, right? You can't just look at data that happens after the fact and say, oh, I should have known that. Sometimes you just can't know. Like in this case, we don't know if Astral Radiance is reprinted or not. We're going to find out in a couple weeks. Regretting it back then or later isn't going to matter. FOMO isn't going to help you. It will just be what it is. So there's always another opportunity. You have to assess the risk versus the reward and decide where the move is. And if you have regrets over this stuff, that's not the right mentality to go into this. You got to look for the good opportunities, the outweighed opportunities, the high reward, low risk opportunities. And this is a fairly high risk opportunity because Astral Radiance could be reprinted. And we don't know what that will do to the prices because we don't know how much is being reprinted. We don't know how fast. We don't know if it's even cases, right? Like, is it going to be booster boxes or ETBs? We don't even know. So we shall see what that does and how that affects the market. Not my play, though. I'll tell you that. I'm not interested at this price. It's a pretty good price, though. $675 is not terrible considering where we're seeing everything else these days. It is the lowest case available. That is insane. Anyways. Moving on, Evolving Skies booster box case. That's up 17.57%. All right, so this will be interesting to look at for the ARB opportunity. Because the boxes jumped way faster, but I don't remember where it was, if it was in parity or premium or what. So we'll look at that. Fusion Strike is down 5.8%. Nothing major, down to $798, just under $800. That is Fusion Strike. Yeah, nothing really to say there other than it's come down for 2 weeks in a row. Probably cooling off because I think it got overhyped, honestly. I mean, it hit 900. That was a little insane, a little too fast, right? When it was 600 the week before, or a couple weeks before. Sorry, 639. Yeah, even that, it was like a month before it was 600. Yeah, that's crazy. That just speed of growth was too fast. That's a reversion to the mean, if you ask me. Lost Origins booster box case down 5.51% to 849 from 899. Maybe an opportunity. Lost Origins is overpriced, if you ask me. It's too recent a set. It's too recent a set. I know there's good stuff in it, but it just came out, a few months ago, and it's already almost 900. That is too far. I predict this will come back down, but that's just my guess. I don't know for sure. I think this will come down further, and plus it has a high chance of a reprint. It seems likely at least, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty right now around the reprints and the logistics and stuff. So unfortunately, we're not getting clarity on that, other than to say it's coming. It's coming. What? We don't know. How much? We don't know. What form? We don't know. So, anyways, let's jump to the charts. All right, Sword and Shield base set is continuing to climb nice and steady. It is the oldest set in the era, so that's not unexpected, not surprising. I will suspect that we'll get another plateau at some point. It may be here, it may be further up. We don't know. But that plateau will sit for a while until we get to a new state of lack of product. Not much to talk about here because you don't have cases. Rebel Clash, boring as ever. Slight premium, beautiful. Seems like reasonable buy factor. I know it's not a liked product though, so probably will not move for a very long time. Darkness Ablaze, slight premium going on here. Nothing special, hitting in parity, moving sideways. It's actually kind of cool. This is a very solid flat line for, set 3, right? Vivid Voltage, we now have a premium where before we had a discount. Arbitrage opportunity, that is. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing really spectacular to comment on here. Just that the boxes are pretty affordable compared to what's going on. But I mean, it's really not that big of a thing. Wait for the next dip if there is one. I think I'll continue to wait on that one. I'm actually interested in getting the case anyway, so I want the case to drop, but I don't know if it will. It'll probably stay steady state because the case demand is going to continue, and I doubt there'll be a supply re-up on Vivid Voltage, which is one of the reasons I'm interested in it. Battle Styles has its premium. It's actually going up. That's crazy. Battle Styles was hated for the longest time. I believe I got my Battle Styles at like $84 a box. I'm pretty sure I did because it was hated so much. So that was a nice little buy. I'm not sure if Rudy convinced me to do it or if I was already collecting like boxes one at a time and it was just so cheap. I was like, well, that seems like a good deal, and I just bought it. I think that's what happened. And then Rudy came out. Oh yeah, that's right. I did it and I was very excited about it. And then Rudy came out with a video like the next week or whatever, and I was very happy that he kept pumping the things I was buying. He looks at the same data. He sees the patterns. And he probably looks at it in a similar way to me, coming from the financial industry. Anyways, moving on to Chilling Reign, in parity, nothing special there. I actually hope this continues to climb, but it looks like we're hitting a plateau point for now. Set 6, unlikely to be reprinted in my personal opinion, but that's just an opinion. Evolving Skies, now we're getting to that. Is it going to be reprinted? Is it not going to be reprinted? The main reason for Evolving Skies is because it's had an elevated price for a long time. We know that Pokemon tries to avoid secondary market, high flyers. They try to keep a supply of what's available, like what people really want. Evolving Skies has been high demand since before this last print run, we think. So there's a chance they reached back this far for a reprint. I think Fusion Strike's probably the safer bet because it wasn't ballooning a long time ago. Evolving Skies has been ballooning for the longest time, so there's a lot of love for that set. So I could see a reprint. That said, it's so elevated. How much will that matter, right? I mean, will it really matter? I don't think it will. Interesting to note, there is a small ARB opportunity here of about $10, $11, 10, 11, something like that. That doesn't really cover shipping or anything, but that's a pretty good case pickup situation. Case, crack it, sell the boxes, especially if we think this will continue to go up. Question mark is again around the reprints. If there's reprints, it comes crashing down and you're stuck with a very expensive case that will take a long time. But how much will it crash down? How much supply are we really going to get here? I don't know. I don't think it'll be market shaking. We'll put it that way. But I have limited experience with this, so I could be wrong. Fusion Strike. All right, so this is the one we're talking about. So parity is coming down, so it's interesting. The case price came. Is this right? Oh yeah, because it's case divided by four. Yeah. So the case price is coming to parity with the boxes. Slow climb, nothing too fantastic here, which is interesting. Um, kind of wish we had better 124. Yeah, better fidelity on this because it's. I wonder if I can tighten this band so you get more variance in here. I mean, this is all the same price, so that is flatline, but seeing these moves more dramatically pronounced would actually be better. I might change the way this chart's designed. I'm not entirely sure how to do that in Excel, so I'll figure that out. But either way, we are with a slight $3 premium, nothing crazy there, coming into parity and moving forward on it. We will see if it flatlines. Sword and Shield 9, Brilliant Stars. Um, Brilliant Stars, we do have a $5 ARB opportunity. That's pretty interesting. So it is climbing quickly. The case is staying solid. This is that one with the weird bubble. So we had this giant bubble and came down flatlined across, and now we're seeing the boxes outpace. So one thing to note, and you see this a lot, you have the bubble in the case, and then you have the bubble in the boxes, right? And that's just supply moving through the system, right? That's why it's reflected. But this volatility means there's something going on with box availability. Cases were too high for too long. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but clearly some volatility here. And this usually leads into a new plateau, which hopefully the cases will follow after that. That's Brilliant Stars. Pretty interesting opportunity there. Still pretty pricey. I think a case is $1,000 right now, so it's still kind of expensive to do anything with. Moving on to 10. And 10 is Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance, you do have a little bit of an opportunity here. ARB opportunity of $5, it looks like. Nothing too crazy. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're coming over a curve here. I'll watch for the down tip and the reverse of this pattern, basically, where it comes back up, and then maybe I'll purchase at that point. Nothing too crazy. It's a set 10, so we could get a reprint. Set 11 lost origin. Cases went out of control. Like I said, this is too much of a premium. $20 is a lot. I guess it's only 12, 13, something like that. Still, it's a pretty high premium at this point for a set that just came out. So I think this one's going to chill out for a bit and probably get a reprint too. I think that's very possible. So we'll see. Silver Tempest. We do have an ARB opportunity. It's 2 credit to tell. I can't really read that. Can you? I can't read what that says. What's the data point down there? 123 versus 128. So it's a $5 difference. Not anything crazy, but again, being at 120 at the latest set is crazy this early. Almost certain to get another wave or another reprint. I'm not even sure if they need another reprint because they probably still have a wave waiting that's printed, right? That coming through supply chain. I don't know. A lot of their holdup was with supply chain according to their own press releases, so that's something to take into consideration with this. Anyways, that is it for your Pokemon market update. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Hit the like button, subscribe button, check out the other channels, Tommy's Top Shelf for comics and all this other stuff going on. Tommy's Top Tabletop. Yes, Tommy Top Tabletop. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. No. That also has some content. I know he's doing some painting and that sort of stuff. He enjoys it. So, again, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're out there cracking packs, playing games, maybe playing on the digital version. I'm going to try to check it out once the new Scarlet Violet meta hits. I'll play the card game, the digital card game, see what I think about Pokemon's latest meta, get some sense of what's cool cards, cool sets, etc. So anyways, looking forward to extending the content to include some of that information in these data updates. I hope you guys are having a good week, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.